Begin at 5 with a dangerous drug packing a growing punch to Portland and beyond.
The local outreach leaders ringing the alarm tonight.
It's killing people.
Now at 5, counterfeit painkillers laced with fentanyl, and why a life-saving tool isn't as helpful as it once was.
And a new report signals an evolving downtown coming out of the pandemic.
Plus, families prepare for a new school year with a new virus to keep an eye on.
Live, you're watching Coin 6 News at 5. Watching out for you.
The impact, it's like a bomb going off in our city. It's huge.
Tonight, we're taking a closer look at the deadly drug fentanyl through the eyes of the people who work to get people out of homeless camps. Good evening. I'm Elizabeth Din.
And I'm Dan Tilken in for Jeff tonight. In our series asking, is Portland over? We recently introduced you to the outreach teams who go into the most severe homeless camps and their plans to expand and reach more people. Well, tonight, we bring you more of our conversation, specifically about the drug fentanyl and what they see it doing to people and our cities, and why one of their emergency treatments isn't working as well as it used to.
The challenges are huge.
From the skyrocketing cost of housing,
It's created this perfect storm.
to mental illness and to concerns about COVID, which slowed outreach to those living on the streets to a crawl.
Just put people into crisis.
These people who work for local nonprofit organizations that send workers into homeless camps to help people get out see how the synthetic opioid fentanyl has turbocharged conditions on the street. Tell me about the fentanyl that's out there.
Oh, it's just terrible, and it's killing people.
It's just been relentless, not letting up.
We have all of the people who are dying overdosing on fentanyl.
You know, back when I was homeless, it was brutal, but nothing like it is today. The violence, the fentanyl.
We have people who don't have enough treatment. We have people who don't have enough housing. And so when we talk about the ARC, the challenges are huge, because what I used to do with drugs back in I don't know, maybe the 80s. So now people are, I mean, what we thought was back then was a huge drug crisis. This is a huge epidemic.
We're seeing, I mean, we're offered the drug all the time, even as outreach workers, you know, and so we see its use everywhere, and we see the impact of it everywhere. I mean, it's killing people. And so, you know, part of our harm reduction is that we have fentanyl test strips, and we try to distribute those as often as possible. We also warn people about the blues.
The blues are the blue pills people think are prescription painkillers, but are often instead laced with a deadly amount of cheaper fentanyl, which can be 100 times more potent than morphine. Last week, the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office put out a warning about this: rainbow fentanyl, multicolored powder found during a bust in northeast Portland.
It's stronger, and it almost looks like cocaine, but it's actually fentanyl powder. And it's very dangerous to handle. If you open that, and the powder could expand in the air, and you could inhale that or ingest that, it could cause an overdose.
When outreach workers are faced with a person overdosing, often their best bet is giving them Narcan, also called naloxone, which workers carry with them. But Narcan doesn't provide as much hope as it once did. It used to take one dose of Narcan.
Yes.
And now it's taking more?
Sometimes with the fentanyl, it can take more.
It's getting worse. People are needing 4 doses sometimes.
It's so strong that their BPs are dropping down, and it's harder to bring them back.
So the fentanyl is so addictive. It's one of the reasons it takes these outreach workers weeks of going back day after day after day, working with one person to slowly gain their trust until hopefully one day they accept help. As we reported, these groups are currently expanding the number of outreach workers with funding from the Joint Office of homeless services, but that is a long process as well.
And this once again emphasizes, like you said, that work, it takes time to work with each person one-on-one and get the help that they need. It may not just be one thing, they might need several different services. It is challenging work, and it's interesting. What was eye-opening in that piece is also how that man was saying that sometimes it can take more than one Narcan to save a person's life because the fentanyl is so much more powerful.
You heard him there. He says sometimes they have to give 4 doses of Narcan and hope that that works.
Yeah, well, again, they have such difficult work and so many people like that doing this work every single day that we don't see.
And it's why it's going to take still a lot longer from now to turn the corner on this situation.
Yeah.